find Nicodemus again. In John chapter 7, starting in verse 45. The officers then came to the chief priests and Pharisees, who said to them, "Why did you not bring him in?" And the officers answered, "No one ever spoke like this man." The Pharisees answered him, "Have you also been deceived? Have any of the authorities or the Pharisees believed in him? But this crowd has not known the law is accursed." Here is the law. They're accursed because they don't know the law. Then this is where we find Nicodemus. Nicodemus, who had gone to him before, and who was one of them, said to them, "Does our law judge a man without first giving him a hearing and learning what he does?" They replied, "Are you a Galilean too? Search and see that no prophet arises from Galilee." End of story. And this is very interesting that they're talking about what Jesus says, and they want to bring him in, and Nicodemus something seems to be happening in his life, where the first he comes to Jesus at night, now he's actually speaking up for Jesus. Nicodemus spoke for Jesus is the fill in the blank. And so why did the Pharisees send for Jesus? Because, or why was the Pharisees pretty much cursed the crowd? Because they didn't know the law, and that they felt that they had the truth. And so they were dealing with that, and there was holes in this truth. Nicodemus saw it, and Nicodemus confronted the Pharisees with their failure to keep their own law. And so this truth of the Pharisees' failure to keep their own law was right in front of them, spoke by Nicodemus. And so what did they do? And like most of us, when we're confronted with truth in our lives, we insult the person that actually says the truth. What are you, a Galilean? Have you fallen from this Galilee? You see, the Hebrews, the Jews, didn't really think nothing good came out of Galilee. So it was a huge insult. And so they insulted Nicodemus. "Oh, you a Galilean too?" And so it was kind of silent, but he still spoke up nonetheless. He risked his reputation. And their response was to insult him. Are you willing to risk your reputation in speaking up for Jesus? I know when I was worked for that right out of the Navy, I didn't risk following Jesus. I didn't risk speaking up. In fact, when the topic of religion came up, I read it. I hit the doors. I avoided it. I missed tons of opportunities. I see that now. And I was so worried about what these people thought of me that those people aren't even in my life now. I was so wrapped up into what people thought of me. Are you willing to risk your reputation for Jesus? Jesus doesn't want part-time followers, but full-time followers risk their reputation. The last time we meet Nicodemus is in chapter 19. Jesus went to the cross. He died. He was taken down from the cross. And it's pretty easy. It's throughout his trials, most commentators said that because of the relationship that Nicodemus had with Jesus, that he removed himself from that the trial of Jesus. Nicodemus didn't show up for that. And so we read that Nicodemus honored Jesus in chapter 19. This is after these things that when Jesus was taken down, Joseph of Arimathea, who was also a disciple of Jesus, but secretly, for fear of the Jews, asked Pilate that he might take the body of Jesus, and Pilate gave him permission. So he came and took away his body. Nicodemus also, who had earlier came to Jesus by night, and bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloes and 75 pounds in weight, about 75 pounds in weight. So they took the body of Jesus and buried it in linen clothes with spices, as the burial custom of the Jews. At this point, Nicodemus couldn't hide anymore. He couldn't hide anymore. Jesus' body was going to be pretty much thrown, because he was considered a criminal, was pretty much going to be thrown into a community pit grave. That's what they did with criminals. But Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus gets Jesus' body. Joseph of Arimathea was also a part of the Sanhedrin. Two people, a part of the Sanhedrin, that went and did this, plotted against Jesus, going against his body. They secretly followed Jesus, and they gave him an honorable burial, which was very, very uncommon. See, Joseph of Arimathea he was also very wealthy. And so he bought a tomb. And most commentators, when they look at Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea, they have stricken these two men from all Jewish record because of what they did. You cannot find Joseph of Arimathea or Nicodemus in any Jewish record. They risked their record.